Hi everybody, welcome to my tube. My name is Sherry, and today we are talking about a kind of more serious topic, and it's something that a lot of people have been asking me in my daily life, kind of just because, okay, I'm the type of person, right, that I have learned to no longer give a shit about what other people might think of me in a lot of different aspects. Now, that doesn't mean that, like, sometimes I won't argue with someone if they see me a certain way and I don't agree with that, but it doesn't affect me in, like, my heart of hearts right here. Like, I don't give a shit, you know? And people have been asking, like, oh my god, I want to be like that. How do I learn to not give a shit? And so I will be, like, telling everyone my story and sort of what I kind of went through in order to reach this mentality. And that is sort of growing up as a Chinese American in America, and then going to China, and then sort of feeling like no matter where I was, I didn't really fit in. So I grew up in Flushing, Queens, kind of in an Asian community, but the school I went to wasn't a school where they were like the Asian American majority. And so I just remember one of my earliest memories of school is like we had a book, and like the characters in the book were drawn with like lines for eyes, like literally like line, and everyone was sort of like, you know, doing this and being like, I look like that character. And me, like, being like 8 or 10 or like younger at the time, was just like, oh, me too. And then one boy turned around, looked at me and went like, why are you copying the book when your eyes are already like that? And I was just like so young and so shook at the time, because I didn't understand what he meant, because, you know, like, to me my eyes are like normal. And I'll be honest, in a lot of like relatives at the time were just like, oh my god, you have such big eyes. And I'm just like, huh? Confused Pikachu face. And like, it wasn't like people were actively teasing me for being like Asian or Chinese, but there were just like hints of aggression and that sort of thing throughout school life in America, and then from like in the world, I guess, because we were in line to get something once, and there were people in front of us who assumed, I guess, that we didn't speak English, and it was just kind of like they were trash talking Chinese people, and I'm just like, okay. And I didn't call them out because I was just like really young, but at the time I didn't understand like you should call them out. And that was like my American experience from childhood. Like, it wasn't like I didn't fit in, but it did feel like I wasn't considered the same as others because I was Chinese American. And also, when I was younger, I used to, instead of watching things like the Hannah Montana show, I'd be watching like Chinese TV shows because I liked it. And we spoke Chinese at home because my family wasn't that good at speaking English, and so I spoke Chinese, which is like a normal thing. And I was watching a lot of like 快乐男生, 快乐大本营, and I was just like really happy. But I didn't really have a lot of people to talk about it with at school, because they were talking about like the newest Nickelodeon show, the Jonas Brothers, and I was just like, 张姐. And even a lot of the Chinese Americans, they were sort of more like, I need to assimilate into American culture, and so they weren't like me, who wanted to watch more Chinese shows, and that's fine. We all have like different ways we thought we should have done things. I don't regret like being more into Chinese shows. It was the way I was, and for that there were a lot of conversations I couldn't partake in. I didn't know, I guess, what everyone else was obsessed with. I did watch like, you know, like cartoon shows and Cartoon Network and all that, but I was more interested in like celebrity wise, more interested in Chinese celebrities than the American pop culture in that aspect. And then sort of right around middle school, I went back with my family to China for the first time and sort of stayed there for the rest of middle school and high school. And I thought I was very like more Chinese than American, but when I got to China I realized like, no, I am way more American than I am Chinese. And that's because like, first of all, I couldn't read or write Chinese, and so navigating around or like even picking dishes on a menu was really hard for me, because when there weren't pictures I kind of just had to rely on people reading it to me. And the adults would like joke like, oh my god, you can speak but you can't read, that's so cute, or like, oh, you little wenmang, which meant like you couldn't read. And it kind of built up to me feeling like, oh, I didn't realize how American I was. And there were other aspects, like I went to a British international school, and going from like public American middle school to a British international private school was like the worst experience in my life. Like I was this like tomboy like kid who like got into fights in school, who was like really, you know, kind of, I had a lot of energy. I was not like a girly girl or anything like that, and there's nothing wrong if you are, but that wasn't me. And then we got to British school and it's just like, okay, all the girls need to tie up your hair, and all the girls must wear skirts as your uniform. And I was just like, because I hated wearing skirts like at all. And then for the whole school life it was just like you had to wear skirts as a girl, and there were pants, but the rules were always kind of iffy on like, could you wear pants, could you not wear pants. And by the end of it, it was just kind of, you could, but not a lot of people did, because you got used to just wearing a fucking skirt. And they were like, they were a lot more strict, and everyone also made fun of my, not everyone, but like the teachers would sometimes make fun of my accent, because I had an American accent and I like referred to things in an American way. Like I was once asked a teacher like, hey, where's the bin to put the paper in? And she's just like, the bin? Why would you put it in the bin? I'm just like, you know, like the bin you put paper in. It's like, oh, in British English we call it bins or trash cans. I'm just like, cool, so where's the bin I put the paper in? And it was just like, even in that school I didn't really quite fit in, because although it was like a British international school, we came from different backgrounds. There were a lot of students who were kind of like more raised in China, and although I was like interested in watching Chinese shows, I didn't know like the newest shows, or the, like I couldn't read Chinese, so I couldn't go on Chinese websites and like interact with the internet lingo, and it just got really weird because they would say things I just couldn't understand even though they were speaking in Chinese. I'm just like, I don't understand what that means. It's just like, oh, this is the new like internet lingo, and then this, and sometimes it would explain but sometimes it wouldn't. I'm just like, don't fit in here either. It's just too American in that aspect. And it got weird because like when people looked at me, they couldn't tell I was Chinese American. They're just like, oh, you're just a Chinese person. And so it was hard being like, well, no, I'm Chinese American, and then you'd have to kind of explain what that meant, and they'd be like, oh, so you're a banana, which meant they're like, you're white on the outside. Oh no, you're yellow on the outside because you're Asian, but you're white on the inside because you had like a white education and a white upbringing. And I'm just like, well, no, because being American's about more than being white. And yeah, and finally it was in high school where like there were cliques and there was all that, and I just, at that point in my life, I could not be bothered to care. It was probably in high school, it's just like, yeah, you know, this is it, I'm gonna stop giving a shit. Like, I didn't actively try to fit in. I didn't actively try not to fit in. I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. I ain't gonna be bothered about what they care about, what they say about me, how they see me. Just like, I'ma just do me, because I'm not gonna fit in anyway, and you know what? That is fine. I am like really thankful for the few friends that I had in high school who like, we were sort of like a mismatch group and we weren't from the same background, and that was sort of like what made us friends. We had different experiences, we talked about different things, and we never tried to be like real cliquey, like all that. And so it was like through the high school years and middle school years, I kind of realized like it doesn't matter that much what the general world sees me as long as like I care about how I present myself as a person, how I want to present myself as a person, and like having friends who support me even though like we might not be the same. That was what mattered to me. And that really helped me going to college, because in college, like, I came back to America for college, and having not experienced American culture for a long period of time, I again couldn't really catch up to like, oh, who's like the singer now, who is the pop star, what's going on, what is the latest music, what's the latest TV show. And I was just like, it's fine. There's still like sometimes I get annoyed because I'll be sitting with like the international Chinese students and we'll be talking Chinese, and there'll be people like who come up and then we like switch to English, and they'll always look at me like, wow, your English is so good. And I'm just like, thanks, I'm from Queens. It doesn't affect me as much as it probably would have used to, where I would have got like really defensive, like, what's that supposed to mean? But now I'm just like, cool, whatevs. And so it's helped me deal with a lot of like drama and issue where I just like, cool, like you think whatever you want, I don't care. I don't give a shit. And so that has been like my attitude towards how people view me, how people talk about me behind my backs, and how I like present myself. Literally, it's just like, I will do whatever I want as long as it is good for me and it is good for like the friends I care about, the people I care about. I will not try to be part of any group or anything like that. If we get along, we get along. If not, like, sorry, I don't care about being in your group. And I know like not everyone can reach this point, and there are other like restricting factors, but I feel the sooner you learn that it doesn't matter, the better. There are gonna be like people who are gonna make your life difficult for not conforming or not fitting in and not being American enough, not being Chinese enough, all that. And wherever you want to put yourself on a scale, that is your own business, and those people can fuck the right fuck off. That is the message of today's videos. It's funny because like before I'd be like, oh, I can't curse in a YouTube video because YouTube's gonna like take my video down and all that. And now it's just like, oh yeah, I don't care about cursing in YouTube videos because like my content anyway isn't made for children, and I don't want YouTube to label it as such, because there are some rules there that I just like do not agree with. So that was like a weird tangent, but yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know like how you feel about what I've said. You agree, disagree, I won't care either way. No, like, not I won't care, but it won't affect me directly. Like, you can disagree, feel free, as long as like you're happy with yourself. Okay, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time,